Good day, everyone. My name is Lena, and for adults, young adults, especially for people who struggle to maintain a healthy work-life balance, they struggle with managing time. They struggle with managing work and life enjoying. A lot of employees all around the world cannot handle work, not to mention life enjoying, not to mention life satisfaction. But the thing is that this unhealthy work-life balance does not necessarily come from not being able to manage time or come from work itself. The thing is that having a healthy work-life balance has become increasingly important in the modern society, since there are more activities that young adults can interfere with. And even though a lot of people argue that employers should take responsibility for ensuring this balance, I do believe that it is also entirely up to the individuals. And the thing is that the perspective before presenting my own view will be, first of all, employees play a significant role in shaping employees' work-life balance. Because as we all know, when we go and scroll on social media, we see a lot of videos, we see a lot of comments saying, well, my boss forced me to do this overnight. My boss worked forced me to end my shift late. And this is from the employers, not the employees themselves, which means that this unhealthy life balance do not come necessarily from the employees, but from their bosses, from their employers, from the people who force them to work late hours, who force them to do more work that they are supposed to do. And again, this is not the employee's fault, right? For example, organizations that encourage flexible schedules or remote work can help employees spend more time with their families or themselves. But other companies, other bosses, other employers who tend to not do much and let their employees do the rest of the work would lead to employees not having enough time to enjoy their own life. Also, it is for that reason, it is actually reasonable to expect employers to create an environment that promotes balance. We have to not just expect the employees to be able to manage their time, but we also have to employers expect their bosses to not force them to work long hours to or do things that are beyond expectation or beyond original plans. And on the other hand, individuals must take their responsibility for their own lives. This is something extremely obvious because even in demanding jobs, let's say producing stuff, which is actually very demanding and very tiring, people can set boundaries and prioritize what truly matters. Because even though they work for long hours and stuff, they still need time for themselves, and they do still have a lot of time. They spare time because they don't work like, let's say, 80 hours a week. For instance, choosing not to check emails for after work or dedicating time to families and personal interests are decisions that individuals must make in order to maintain a life balance. They can't choose to do or not. And this is up to them, not up to the individuals themselves. And the result will also be according to their choices, according to their decisions. But relying entirely on the employers may lead to disappointment, as businesses are primarily focused on productivity and profit rather than meaning. And in my opinion, I think that achieving work-life balance requires effort from, well, both sides, right? They need the employer's effort, and they also need the employees, the workers, benefits, the workers, like thinking and reasoning, at the same time. But I think that individuals do hold the greater responsibility overall. Because think about it, while employers can provide supportive conditions, only individuals can decide how their life works, how they're going to deal with their work, how they're going to deal with their time. The individuals, the employers, are the only one who can decide how to use their time purposely, what they want to prioritize over their time. And also, ultimately, small or conscious choices in daily life are actually key to maintaining a meaningful life. And think about it, employers, bosses cannot make these choices for us. They cannot make this small minor decisions for us, especially in our daily lives. So even though, in conclusion, employees and employers both have a responsibility in managing a work-life balance, healthy work-life balance, I believe that ultimately individuals have a greater responsibility because the thing is that they have to do the decisions themselves. Whether their life works, how they're going to manage their time depends on how they choose it. And also employees cannot affect the small choices in their daily life. And that is the end of my speech. Thank you.